Mr. Garcia, I know this topic of not just some of the clients you've had in private practice, but some of the pro bono work that you've taken on has become a little bit of a theme here this morning. And so allow me to do a couple things just for the record and to be abundantly clear with folks who are observing this hearing. You spent about 500 hours per year. It's about 25% of your time providing pro bono legal services. That's a significant amount of time, resources that you're providing to clients and causes that could not otherwise afford the hourly fees of a major law firm, let alone billable hours for yourself and possibly more income for the firm. I think that's commendable and honorable. But because of the clients that have been referenced by my Republican colleagues here on the committee, you've advocated on a pro bono basis for women, for voters, for immigrants, for incarcerated individuals, ensuring their due process rights. Yet they seem to be trying to twist the honor of your work because of who you've chosen to represent on a pro bono basis. Now, I know you know full well the difference between having been an advocate and the work how you would need to approach your work from the bench if you're fortunate enough to be confirmed. So just to clear up any misconceptions, any misperceptions for anybody following these proceedings, can you, in your own words, describe those differences between being an advocate, being a judge, and dispel any concerns somebody may have that your prior advocacy or pro bono work would inappropriately bias any case you may hear?
Absolutely. Thank you, Senator. As you mentioned, the roles of an advocate and a judge are very, very different. As an advocate, my job was to generate the best possible argument for every client that retained my law firm. And I was honored to do that in my paid and pro bono cases, and I'm proud of the work that I've done over the course of my career. The role of a judge, of course, is very different. The Constitution calls for an independent judiciary and impartial judges, and that's why every judge takes an oath to fairly and impartially apply the law. I have great respect for that principle and for this court, the D.C. Circuit, having clerked there and worked there with many folks that I respect, and I would bring that impartiality and dedication to the rule of law if I'm fortunate enough to be confirmed.
Great. Now, my next question is actually for both of you. I'd like to hear brief answers to the following. I mean, if in preparation for this moment, you've had a chance to observe any of the prior Judiciary Committee hearings on nominees to the district court, to the circuit court, even a hearing we had on a Supreme Court justice nominee, you've heard me talk about the importance of diversity. Diversity, not just on the federal bench, but at all levels, and not just folks who sit on the bench, but for law clerks as well. I think as both of you have observed and can share, a clerkship with a federal judge for many can serve as a springboard to a tremendously successful legal career, either as a future judge or in private practice. But too few women and minority law students are given the opportunity to clerk, especially at the federal level and at the upper levels of the federal judiciary, despite having comparable or superior credentials. I'm not going to be shy about this. Now, Mr. Garcia, you've spoken about this issue in the context of your own clerkship experience when you noted that during your time clerking at the Supreme Court, you were one of only 2 Latino clerks at the time, and no Black law clerks were there at the time. So the question is this: if you're fortunate enough to be confirmed, number one, do you agree that diversity at all levels of the judiciary, including staff and law clerks, is important? And if so, what would you intentionally do to advance diversity in the judiciary? We'll start with you, Ms. Douglas.
Thank you for the question, Senator. I have been a sitting magistrate judge for the past almost 4 years. I have interviewed and reviewed the qualifications for law clerks from all various backgrounds, in their diversity, in ways such as geographically where they were from, whether or not it was race or gender, interests that they have, whether or not it's pro bono or corporate law after leaving their clerkship. I have had 3 law clerks since I have been present as a United States Magistrate Judge, and they've all been from various diverse backgrounds, and if I am so fortunate to be elevated to the Fifth Circuit, I would continue in that same vein.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, Senator. I very much share those sentiments, and if I am confirmed, I do value the importance of having folks with different backgrounds and perspectives on the law, and one thing among others I would try to do is to hire from a range of law schools.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Senator Padilla.